is it that when it comes to Arsenal, the
good point.
The narrative changes. I remember people say you need a good defense. Defense wins you title, while attackers win you games. Now we look at the numbers. Arsenal is doing very well defensively. They had the best defensive record in the league. They have the highest percentage of possession controlling of games in the league with City. And they are third on the table, 1 point behind City alongside Liverpool. And still, just because they are not as ferocious as we were last season, it looks like there's a drop-off. So I think I'm with Osborne on this one. The important aspects of the game of winning titles and winning games, Arsenal is up there. They're controlling games better. They are giving chance. I remember before that I joined Arsenal, we are having average of 26 shots on our goal per game. 26, 19, 20. These numbers have really shrunk. They have gone down, which means, and we looked at City a few minutes ago, City are allowing more shots, allowing more play teams come at them. And we still rate them to be able to win the league against a team that is not giving opponents. I mean, Chelsea scored 4 against City, and City had maybe 2 or 3 shots on target against Arsenal.
You Ogum ready. I blame everybody for what is happening to Nigeria. All of you outside the country, with everything you know, with your pool of knowledge and experience. Look at what we're dealing with. Lesotho. Like, really?
Hey, that's football for you.
We have everything apart from the goalkeeping department. We are sorted. For the next 7 years, we are sorted. Midfield, attacking, whatever, any place, strikers, whatever we need. It's a mess.
I don't know what you mean. That's football for you.
No, it's more than football.
Nigeria say you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. That's it. The keeper is messed up. Is messed up. There's no.
$70K. That's what Pesero gets. Or am I wrong? $70K, right? After deductions. Can you imagine?
The guy is just hey. Wow.
Chioma, I thought a payroll specialist. I knew you as a pundit.
I am in Nigeria. It's paining me. It's paining me because my passport.
Give me your post. Your post. I don't hear you.
I want to. I see, seriously, I'm angry. I think we should just divert every fund in sports to the women's.
Are you more paying than the NFF? The NFF, they are chilling and you're crying. People making the money are chilling and you're the one crying. Calm down. No
Nimi, you help us. So help us. Is it not that new minister, the Eno? He's busy moving from one place to the other, writing things, speeches that me I don't know.
We're praying. Praying, Chioma. We are praying. Nigeria is in our thoughts and praying.
We have prayed too much. We have prayed too much enough to last us a lifetime.
Chioma, the good thing is that you're in Abuja, so you're even closer to what you're complaining about. Probably you're the one to help us.
Do
something about this.
That's true. Chioma, you're closer. You're closer.
Yeah, right there.
Start with protest.
Yeah, next door there. Next door there. We'll join you. The next door. I don't know why you're complaining. You're blaming us. And you're just apparently you're having lunch with these people every day. You're here trying to deceive us.
Moa, Emmy.
I don't even know the name of
I don't know what to say. Because
So
I'm
somebody
very much
you can't even speak proper Igbo. You don't know how to say man.
Mụnwa na-asụ Igbo as in karịa onye ọbụla. Abụ m nwaanyị Ifuma, m na-asụ ezigbo Igbo.
All right, I see. I'll take that.
Let's start. We'll do Nigerian show one of these days. Today is Arsenal and City. Transit TV, welcome to Reggie Football Show. Today we are continuing our coverage of the Big Six review after 12 games in the EPL this season. Yesterday we dealt with Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur. Today we're talking about City and Arsenal, two teams many think are going to go head-to-head this season in terms of winning the EPL. With me today is my man Ubum, the regular feature to the show. Funsho is back again, our statsman. Nimi is here as well. Chioma is here. We're looking at the numbers as well for this one. And it promises to be a number-based show today. City, we know, is first on the table, followed by Liverpool, and Arsenal are third on the table with same points with Liverpool, as of course. So, guys, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you, Reggie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Which are good to see you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you for finding some minutes to join us today.
Yeah, I want to be here. I said whatever it takes, I'm gonna show up. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. So.
Yeah, and Mimi said Mimi was first on the attendance sheet today because he's Arsenal. He has to do what Chelsea fans do.
I was surprised to call in and see Nimi. That's quite unprecedented.
As usual, thank you again for having me. Arsenal fans winning, that's how they will finish the season. They will always not come to the point first.
Yeah, Chioma, good to see you again. As usual, like you did before, you gone back to your African woman look. We like that, your dress or your weave. I don't know what you did to that hair. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much. They are called cornrows, by the way. I'm trying to throw more light on my forehead.
It looks good on you. It looks good on you.
That shouting out to everyone. Nimi, well done, no. I wonder why you came first.
Look at Funsho drinking tea. I wonder that's not even drinking tea. Drinking tea with an Arsenal mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, good to see you guys, man. So we're going to start with City today. City in numbers, out of 36 points, has garnered 28 points so far this season after 12 games. They won 9 of their 12 games, they lost 2, drawn 1, and their goal difference is 20. In the Champions League, they have won 4 games, 4 out of 4. First on the fact they've qualified. I remember the other day, Pep said they were celebrating qualifying to the next stage. He respected the fact that they were expected to do so, but he said it's not something that you should look down upon. And the average possession per game, they are on the same percentage with Arsenal, 62.3% average ball possession in each game. They've scored 32 goals, number 1 in that category. They've also scored 15 goals in first half, the most goals scored by any team in first half. Second half, they are second to Arsenal. They scored 17 goals. They have total of 176 shots on goal, first in that category as well. 81 of them is on target, is first on that category, and 47 off targets, 10. And they are considered 12 goals. Arsenal is better than City on that one. They are third on the table with that one. Disciplinary, they have 2 red cards, 22 yellow cards, total of 24 cards this season so far, placing them 16th on the table. I think Arsenal has the best disciplinary record this season so far, having, I think, 19 cards. so far. So that's a City kind of their numbers. Eden Haaland is their highest goal scorer. I think he has 14 goals, followed by Alvarez and Foden, both on 4 points. Doku is there. I think has the highest assist with 5 or so. So that's in a nutshell. That's City for you so far this season, and so we're going to look at them and compare to what they have done, in the past. Presently, they are sitting first on the table, and let me start with you, Funsho. City, it looks like defensively, though they are first on the table, but it looks like defensively teams are able to break them down more this season, and they have considered more goals. Like you can see, they usually used to have the best defense in the league or be one of the best, but this one, they are third on that aspect. What have you made about, what do you think is the cause of this, that City looks to be considering more goals? Of course, they have lost 2 games already at this stage of the season. I know many say they don't start really well, but they don't really lose games, actually. But out of 12, they have lost to drawn 1. That's 3 games that they did not win this season so far. What have you made of this, or what do you think is the reason that this has happened?
Yeah, I think that they have. I mean, it's fair to say they have a new look. Rhyme starting left. They lost Mahrez. They lost a few other guys out. It's tired, right? I mean, they've won everything. Last, you can see the frustration. Kai Walker was very. They were going to lose to Chelsea. They thought it was going to walk in the pack. Then it was different. And we discussed it, how the game was going to be where they play Arsenal. And I think they also, this past 2 seasons or 4 seasons, attention was on them, now how they're buying players, how they're selling players. And for them to, they changed teams around, but not as much as they have. I think the only difference as they were last season, because Arsenal is just as strong as they are. You take Haaland off that team, or Chelsea. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. 3 issues, right? It's been on the team for so long. They're around this guy for them to be successful. And as you can tell, they have new faces. I think what changed is the figure.
Sorry, guys, I don't know what my internet is messing around.
Reggie there, right?
Yeah. I don't know, my internet is messing around. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's right. God is on our side.
Reggie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what's going on with my internet today.
Yeah, we know what's going on, Reggie. Don't worry.
Right.
Funsho, continue.
So are we content where we're at, or we are sliding over, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, continue.
Continue.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, I think what changes, people have figured them out. And also, I don't think there's any more motivation for them. I mean, what else is there? The only record they probably want to chase is being invisible, right? They've won treble, they won everything. People are coming to work with nothing to prove. And I think that's what happened. Like I said, we figured them out. We know how to match City now. You play where Arsenal played Manchester City, and you will give them a tough time. And I think that has changed. They also are no longer allowed to use money as much as they were able to. In the past couple of years, they can really just write checks and do things. Now, the attention is on them right now. We saw what happened to Everton. City have a case. Chelsea have a case. They can before City used to buy players that they don't even need. They bought Maris for 2 seasons. They didn't use the guy, and they pay a lot of money for him. So City will beat you 2 ways. They are good, and they beat you with money. They take good players off the market. This is a very corporate way of winning, of beating people. You know, they pouch your talents. Whatever talent is left, they buy those guys. So I think what difference is like they're not going to allow to spend that much money. And one thing that Manchester City did differently to see they can use the same thing is increase the cost of running business. There's a big gap. Last year, they say it cost them 100-something million in cost of running business. It's ballooned to 400-something million. So maybe they're trying to find another way to buy a player because now they're in trouble. They need a big gap. They might have to fill in some role and sell some players. But I'd like to answer your question again back to what happened. The club has figured them out. They don't have that much. They don't have ways to use money like they used to anymore in the past. And maybe they're just bored. Win a treble. What else is there to play for? That's what I think is happening to Manchester City right now.
Okay, I hear you, but Ugum, let me ask you. I hear what funsho is saying, but if you look at the attacking numbers, City is still first. They're scoring goals. They are blowing teams away the days. They are on it. I hear what funsho is saying, but do you think it's a matter of, because this is a defensive issue? I don't know if it has to do with the quality of players that they have or money that they're spending, because they bought Guardiola 72 million. Somebody was saying yesterday that this is the most untalked about high expensive defender. Defensively, City has issues. I don't know if you agree with funsho that they has to do with the money that they have spent, or is it a motivation issue? Because motivationally speaking, they are scoring goals and the numbers in attacking situations are good. So does the motivation only come in defensive duties? What do you think is the reason why City have not won 3 games just in 12 games? This is not the City that we know, and they are conceding goals. They don't have a bad defensive record in the league this season so far, which usually they are number 1 defensively and number 1 attacking wise.
Yeah, funsho, much respect. I enjoyed your discourse, your monologue on City. I thought you raised some very interesting points, most of which I agree with. One that I disagree with is that the quality, that if you take out Haaland, that they are the same with the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I beg to disagree. I think that team is filled with high quality players from top to bottom, with at least 2 options in every position, two almost equal options, in the sense that if one person isn't playing and you bring someone from the bench, the person will offer 90% of what the person that is not playing can offer. So that is a slight difference from the rest of the league, the rest of their competitors, and that's, I think, what is one of the things that Arteta is trying to accomplish with Arsenal. Fill the squad with quality players that can play multiple positions at the highest level possible. So, yeah, and then talking about the Regis question, it's interesting. I think that part of what made City invisible, or even up till now, is their ability to control games in the midfield, control games offensively. Those that know that your offense is the best form of defense, right? And offense isn't just goal scoring. Offense is dominating the ball, keeping the ball. Your opponents don't get to see your 18-yard box. Then your defense appears impregnable, appears invisible, because your opponents don't go near your goalkeeper. How are they going to score, right? So part of what I think is missing with City is that they've lost some very smart, valuable players. One of them being Ilkay Gundogan, who still to tomorrow is underrated, right? That player is a player that helps the club, the team, control play all the time. Now, Another player, of course, you mentioned is Kevin De Bruyne. And yeah, so you see that without those two key players, and I think I'm forgetting someone in that midfield as well, that even Riyad Mahrez was very useful, but not quite. Yeah, he didn't play quite as often as these other two players. So they would dominate the ball, dominate, almost lull you to sleep with passes, so that you don't get near their 18-yard box, and then yeah, their defense ends up being lauded. Not that they've had incredible, world-class defenders, so to speak. A case in point being Murphy Akanji. My goodness, Murphy Akanji was highly rated, emerging as a talent, then joined Borussia Dortmund, and was a bit of more a miss than a hit at Dortmund. He wasn't special. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't even. I mean, nobody really even looked for Murphy Akanji until he came to City, and then joined that team, and suddenly, became a world beater. Suddenly looked world class. So you see that you can bring a player, put him in a world class setup. He looks world class. Take him away from there now. Put him in any other EPL team. They'll be not making him all over the place, and the pundits will be using him as a topic of discussion every week. But now at City, he's looking world class. So I think that it was more about their ability to control games, ability to score goals at decisive moments where you give up pretty much. You'd rather just sit back and contain them than try to score against them. So yeah, with Haaland not scoring at the level he was scoring last season, and with Gundogan not being there, and then the likes of Nunes that they bought to help the midfield, Calvin Phillips, haven't really been performing. And so you see that there are gaps here and there, and it's preventing them from being at the level that we are used to for City.
Yeah, Chioma, I saw you kind of agree with Osborne right there. I remember in the beginning of the season when we were doing our season preview with this conversation was held, and I think I remember mentioning that somebody else said it as well, that City is not going to be the City that we know, having lost Gundogan. And many talk about other teams, especially Arsenal, they are one injury away from being this and that. And I said I always maintaining this show that every team has that 2-3 player that if they are not there, is different. And this season, so far, Rodri has not played three league games, and those games City lost. He didn't play 2 league games and one, I think, Carling Cup or so, and they lost those 3 games. So, supporting what Osborne has just said, what do you think do you think Rodri not being missing some games this season is also one of the reasons why City has lost those games and not doing very well defensively?
I think Ugum just said he threw light on the point I wanted to give when he talked about Aika and talked about Mahrez. So just like you mentioned, Ugum said City they don't have the best defenders so far. They don't have, like a flock of many wonderful defenders. Okay. No disrespect to Kyle Walker and Ruben Diaz and, Ake. I like Ake a lot. But they play their football by engaging people in the midfield. That's where KDB comes to play. So the whole of last season, they had the whole powerful hold and they took over football by finding a way to make sure that they keep their opponent occupied by the likes of KDB and then Gundogan when he was there. Because those players will keep you occupied in the box and Gundogan will make sure that he runs circles around you, gets you tired. And sometimes you see KDB going to help the defense because if he keeps you very easy, makes the right passes, cuts you off, it's very difficult for you to go bother the guys at the back. So I can say that's the kind of football City played last season. So now their major problem is they have just won out. That's the truth. Because if you played as many games as those boys played last season, you're expected to be won out and turn. So what we're seeing is not just about them having, won the treble. These are guys who have done too much. What they got, they didn't expect last season. Let's tell ourselves the truth. I was so convinced they didn't know they were going to come in on that treble, but it happened. So what we're seeing are a bunch of people that, they are tired. And now it's time for the defense to do the job without the likes of KDB and, Stone was out for some time, yeah. If I remember correctly, he was out for some time. Now, Ake, Akanji, Rico, these guys are expected to do their job, but now they can't do it. So I think it's just a case of, the great guys that used to be in City have left, and now these ones are trying to get their act together and be the footballers that they should be. And going to Rodri, of course we know Rodri is a glue. He's a glue in Man City. And if he goes off, they fall apart. You saw what happened when he was away. So he's the glue. And this whole Haaland gist, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. If you have the likes of Alvarez and the likes of other people that know where the goalpost is, Haaland is not just it. He's not everything. He's not everything. That's what I think.
Yeah, Nimi, I hear what everybody's saying. Like I said, this motivation thing, Chioma just mentioned, so they haven't played a lot of games last season. I mean, attacking wise, it's not affecting them because they're number one. They have the number one numbers going forward. They are still leading the table. I mean, we are just looking at trying to, review the team, what they have done so far this season. And this is defensively, we have found some things out. If this were to be Arsenal, Chelsea, or United, like I mean, United bought Messi Mount, Arsenal bought Kaihavertz. People are saying these signings have not really kicked in. Chelsea did a lot of signings as well. Now we're talking about Rodri missing some games, and City all of a sudden are losing games. And I know City also got Kovacic from Chelsea. In his first 2-3 games, everybody will raving. City always has a way of turning ordinary player to superstars. But I don't know if you agree with me. I don't think he has done much. He has really kicked on in City to deliver what he's expected. I don't even know what his role is in City. Just like the way we bought Havertz, you don't know. For me, he's getting better, but I don't really know what his position is in the team. Probably, I don't know if he's playing the Rodri role or he's playing a number 8 role. So looking at all this and hearing what everybody has just mentioned, what is your take in this problem City is having, especially defensively, considering more goals, losing not winning in 3 games out of 12 at this stage of the season? What's your take in that in this conversation?
Yeah, so I heard of what everybody said, and I'm a little bit surprised. Osborne. If you've played the game, when you win everything, it's normal. You become a little bit lackadaisical. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Okay, so you become a little bit lackadaisical. You become a little bit stiff. What is the next challenge? You got to re-energize yourself. City had a tremendous year last year where they won practically 75% of the tournaments that they registered for. It is only natural that they will feel kind of way and feel a little bit slow in what they're doing. And right now, I look at the City team that they have right now, and I'm just like, hey, they've lost some key players on the team. Some players have been, they've lost Mahrez, they've lost Gundogan. Believe it or not, Gundogan was an unsung hero in that team last year. And now they have to replace Gundogan. They brought Kovacic to do the same thing. They brought Doku to come into the team. Traditionally, with Pep Guardiola, the first season, the players, some of these players tend to struggle a little bit for the season. But I'll tell you this. One thing I know is KDB will be coming back. That is, KDB every season gives at least 15 to 20 assists. That is something they're missing right now. So when he comes back, he will be able to complement that team. Also, what everybody's forgetting is last season, Arsenal ran away with the league. But when it comes to the business time end of the season, City has a way of clawing their way back. What I fear is the fact that if teams don't run away right now, it will be very, very difficult to catch City because they are like a steaming machine that is being steamed up. And once they get, once they go on that road, it will be very difficult to catch them. Do I think they're the same team from last year? No, I don't think so. I think this version of City is a little bit susceptible to quick breaks being scored on, but it's still early part of the season. It's just 12 games of the season. So we have to give them that. Opportunity. We have to know that they are a team being coached by Pep Guardiola. I think we should be worried if at match week 28 or 27, they are still playing this way. From every point of view, I think the games that they lost, we shouldn't forget Rodri was not in those games. He's one of the most important players. I was watching Mikel's podcast. Mikel talked about the importance of Rodri for the Manchester City team, taking over from the Brazilian, is it Fernandes, the Brazilian guy, and Fernandinho. He has been really awesome. So let's hold on with City. Let's hold on. I think they will come good this season. They will win the league again with at least more than 6-7 points. So I think it's not even any day for debate. The number one reason, as I said, is just this players coming back, getting used. You have to re-energize those players and make them feel like they have something to play for again. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, for sure. Is it? We want to say something?
Yeah, just a bit of rejoinder to Nimi's Nimi's opinion. Nimi, I don't know whether you read our statements so far as underrating City or anything, putting them in a negative light. No, we're just analyzing the first 12 weeks in the season. I don't know about my fellow guys discussing Chioma and the rest of them. I know that nobody here underrates City. We still expect City to win the league, right? We're just trying to figure out why they are not at the level that they were at this time last year.
Especially defensive.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, so for sure, what I want to ask you is, it's easy for us to say it has become the normal talk. City will come good. They go on this row, and I know I've watched this league for so many decades, and I know that we have teams most times win leagues is you don't lose to your opponent, and this is the only reason why City won the league. And say what they want to say about Arsenal last season. If Arsenal had won City in one of those games, the discussion would have been different. It's just that one game. Because that would be 3 points to Arsenal and 3 deducted from City. Then there will be just 1 point or thereabout apart. Because City eventually won the season with 4 points. It wasn't as if they ran away. So this season, Arsenal has managed to win City in one game. And everybody knows that the way Liverpool is playing, it's going to be another very tough game for City this season. I don't want to know if City is going to win Liverpool home and away this season. So they can still do what they did last season and not win the league. And this is what Mourinho did so many times in the league. He will make sure he doesn't lose to his biggest rivals. Worst comes to worst, away he will draw you, then come home and win. And that's how you win the league most times, because they call it a leap year, a double header. So do you think the Arsenal managing to win City this season so far, and them, the Liverpool playing the way they are playing, they managed to do so? Do you think this don't have a big say in if City will go ahead to win the league this season or not?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. And what we are thinking about is we can say City are like in the league of their own. So again, to talk back to Mimi, what we're saying, we are comparing City against City. We're not comparing City against anybody else. To keep that up. But also, here we are, right? City are struggling fine, but then is there that team that can beat them? That's the next question. I would have said that Arsenal would give them a run for the money, but again, Arsenal, we are not scoring as much this season, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get
You know, we're not scoring, and we have injury issues. You know, we're almost without a striker in the last game that we played, and I still don't believe Eddie is the guy to take us. If we're going to win the league, we won't be with Eddie Nketiah, it will be somebody else. So the only reason why I feel like Arsenal can go based on City performance, because like you said, advantages, we have not lost to them this season, right? Which we're already up. We just have to not do bad against other teams and we are fine. And we can still win the league that way. But the problem is, believe it or not, Gabriel Jesus has only had one Premier League goal this season. Right? Eddie Nketiah is, you know, it can happen today. You can see nothing for the next 10 games. The next person behind them, Kai, is not a guy. Now I'm hearing rumors that even if Tony leaves, the price they're asking for, 100 million, I don't think Arsenal is paying for that. Yeah. So with that, now the reason why I went this route is, what is Arsenal? Just as we discussed City's chance, what is Arsenal's chance, right? That's Arsenal for you. Arsenal will beat City again and win again, provided that we can solve our scoring problem, which is very dangerous. Now, the next option that you mentioned is Liverpool. Liverpool has played 12 games. They've won 8. They drew 3 and lost 1.
Lost 1, yeah.
Liverpool lost 1, yeah. So they're just 1 point behind, just like Arsenal. Now, Liverpool also, I don't think Nunes is the guy. And just like any other team, injury is going to happen. We don't know when it's going to knock anybody down. But I believe and I expect Arsenal and Liverpool to kind of continue to chase City until somebody make a mistake somewhere. Hopefully, let's hope no one is getting injured on City's team, because then that's going to change the whole thing. For now, yes, I think Liverpool and Arsenal are in the right seat. For Liverpool, I think they're okay. They just have to make sure they don't get injured. For Arsenal, we need striker. That's it. Without a striker, forget it. We are not going to be ahead of City this year. And if it's not going to be Eddie Nketiah, it has to be somebody else, because Jesus is not going to finish the season healthy. So to answer your question, he's not, right? Can somebody else take over? The answer is yes. But do they have what they need to take over? The answer is no. For City, the answer is also no for Liverpool.
Yeah, good. Let me touch base with you right quick. Okay, I know many of my cities is.
Sorry, Reggie. Just 1 second.
Go ahead, sir.
Funsho, I really appreciate you. You know, you're one realistic fan. This is something I talked about weeks ago about Nketiah and the striking partnership for Arsenal, not having those people that could take them to win that league. And I really wanted to appreciate your commentary.
Okay, so I don't know.
I don't know if I'll take that as a compliment or not. I'm still getting to know you. Give me 1 more week and I'll come back.
So hold on. You know, there are 2 other ways to look at it. I know it might sound funny, but I mean, these are considerations as well. Do you think it's time for Pep to, maybe he's stayed a bit too long, his messages are becoming stale, you know, to the players, or is it time for Pep to try to probably adapt his game a little bit to the players that they have now, considering the fact that, because what we're looking at here is defensively, attacking wise, yes, Kevin De Bruyne brings more assists to the team, but they are scoring goals. Haaland is still the highest goal scorer in the league without Kevin De Bruyne. They're going to score goals, but we're looking at their defensive numbers. It looks like they are easier to play against now as against earlier on. And don't forget, even if you have a KDB on your team, yes, it's going to bring the attacking numbers up, which they're not struggling with. But defensively, because of his age as well, he's not going to give you. Kevin De Bruyne used to chase players down from an attacking position, but last season we saw that he doesn't have that energy anymore. So they tend to place him more high up the pitch than engaging in defensive duties. I look at Doku. Doku, as vibrant as he looks forward, he looks like a player that is not interested in the defensive side of things, which could also be a problem for City. Whereas before, with players like Mahrez in their prime and Gundogan, these players give you that edge going forward, but they also have defensive discipline to help their defense. Yeah. I used to say it in the past, but people used to laugh at me. I said, City don't have defenders who enjoy defending one-on-one because there's so much pressure on you. Sometimes I think the City players, defensive players, are overrated because they outscore you and they win games. So do you think Pep maybe we're going to see the last of Pep this season or next season, maybe moving on, or does he need to adapt his game a little bit to take care of this onslaught against his teams? And if yes, what does he need to do to the way City plays?
Well, if I were to be forced to answer that question, either or, I would lean more towards him moving on probably in another season or so, because he's been at City. I mean, that's the longest he's been at a place in his career. And Pep is someone that, tends to not like being in a place for too long, no matter the attachment that he has to that place. Maybe with Xavi, the way things are going at Barcelona, he may be tempted to go back to his club and really, again, elevate them to the highest levels possible. He may be a bit bored at City with all the challenges coming up with financial problems, financial misappropriation and all that. And like we said, Everton has just been docked 10 points. City were accused of 150 whatever last season. Nothing has been done about that. So maybe something may happen that may cause Pep to want to move on. As for tinkering with or changing his ways, I don't see him doing that. And honestly, I do not see I do not know or see what I think Pep has to do differently because his side is number one in the league. Mm-hmm. Yes, they've lost a couple of games that normally they wouldn't have lost by this time, but they're still leading the league. I don't necessarily think he needs to change much in the way he plays because he believes in his process, and his players, the people that join him tend to get better as the season moves on with their ability and with the way they play. So I think he's got it. He knows how to handle his side, and he's proven to be the best or one of the best of all times. And last season, banking on saying what Nimi said earlier, last season they won everything. They won treble. That's unprecedented. That's crazy, an achievement for a side to hold. And yes, I agree that somewhere along the line it's going to have to affect somehow the players. Maybe they're still ramping up and trying to take off the celebrations from last season and refocus on what they need to do this season. So yeah, that's just answering that question. Hopefully, as we go, I'll be able to speak about the striker situation that funsho raised. Maybe when we get to that.
Yeah, so Chioma, let me ask you, last season City won the Champions League and took off this heavy criticism of the team that they haven't won the UCL, considering the fact they were dogged the best team in Europe. Do you see City winning back-to-back Champions League, a feat that Zidane achieved with Real Madrid few seasons back? And if not, which teams in Europe do you think have what it takes to knock them off that title this season?
Well, I can say that I don't see them winning Champions League though this season. I don't see it. Just like everybody has mentioned, they're lacking a certain strain of strength from last season. They're lacking a certain strain of strength, and things have changed. So they've gone and they've done it all. So they're still, in a place where I don't think they're going to come out of it and win this Champions League this season. And yes, if there's a club to contend with for Champions League this season, it should be Real Madrid. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, I hear you. So, Nimi, are you there?
I am here already.
Yeah, I know you've already said it. We're going to move to what we expect to be series end of season. Yeah, for the league, I know you mentioned that they're still going to be the one to win the league. They have FA Cup, Champions League, and stuff. So, how do you expect their season to pan out? Do you believe City is going to win the league? And if yes, other competitions, Champions League, and whatnot. And if is there anything that they need to do differently to sustain these achievements or repeat what they did last season? Do they need more players, and need to do what areas?
Well, what I'll say is this. I'm confident about, if there's any team I'm confident about in the EPL, is Manchester City. The Pep has won, I think, about 5 EPL titles in 7 years. That's a testament of a man that knows how to win a trophy. As regards the EPL, I'm not worried. I'm not sweating over EPL title. This is what City does. Let's not forget again. Last season, they were over 8-9 points away by January, February, and they still came in to win the league with several points. I am confident that they will come back strong and they will win the league. They just got to understand they're missing some players. Let's not forget John Stones is out injured too. Again, Rodri was out of the game. KDB again, as I said, if you have a player that provides 15 to 20 assists every season and he's out of the team, man, you're gonna miss out on something. You're gonna miss out on a lot. So let's stay calm. I expect them to win the league. In the Champions League, I expect them to go as much as the semifinals. They will be at the semifinals. In the FA Cup, I expect them to put a strong title defense. And in the Carling Cup, they're already out of the Carling Cup. They're going to win the World Club Championship. So I think City is still well oiled. They're still a well-oiled machine, and I'm confident of their expertise. Remember, Kovacic is going to settle down. Nunes is going to settle down. Gavidol is going to settle down, and Akanji will keep doing what they're doing. And you'll be doomed to say you want to bet against City with all these titles, with all these competitions they're in right now.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you're there, see where we are now. What was your expectation for City for the rest of the season? And if they are lacking anything now, what do you expect them to do? Because Nimi was just talking about Kevin De Bruyne coming back, but we know that in the last 2 seasons, he has missed a lot of games to injury. He has played a lot of games for City. What if we are looking at the end of KDB in City, considering just because of probably injuries and fitness? What does City need to do to maintain those numbers that he usually brings to the team? Like I said, it's looking obvious that KDB, Rodri, and Gundogan out of the team. City is no longer the same team they used to be. Now we have 2 of those 3 out. Gundogan is gone and gone for good. KDB is in and out of the team because of injury. He's not going to be back till end of this year. Maybe from January he'll be back, and nobody knows how he's going to come back. We have seen him come back from injury and go back again. And Rodri is looking a little bit exposed and probably dealing with disciplinary issue. We might see him miss more matches for City this season from a discipline point of view. So what do you think City need to do? Do you think they need to they've brought in Kovacic, like I mentioned earlier, and I don't think he has really, he's not a bad player, but I don't think he has really brought what they are missing. Pep said something interesting about Foden the other day in a press conference. They asked him about him. He said Foden is a very fantastic player, but he's an instinctive player. He's not a player that does what the coach wants him to do. That most of the time he does what he thinks is good. And most times he's good, but there's a reason why, as a coach, you expect him to do certain things in certain situations. And some of these things people might not look at them, but they are very, for Pep to mention it, those kind of things have impact on the team, because a player can score a goal and still be playing against the team's, the coach's instruction. As fans will say, he did well, he scored a hat-trick, but the coach is not happy with the player because he's not playing according to instruction. And it looks like when you take out Gundogan, take out KDB, take out people like Mahrez out of that team, it looks like Pep doesn't have those players who probably see the game perfectly the way he sees it, and they go into the games and replicate what he wants them to do. Yes, there are good players on the team, but they might not be those players that have the intelligence to understand what they want the coach to do. So what do you think that City needs to do to still win the league, give a good charge for the Champions League, probably win it back-to-back? Do they need to sign players, or like I asked earlier on, Ugum answered, does Pep need to adapt the way they are playing to the players that he has at his disposal?
I mean, that's a very good question. And I think the only thing they need is money and how to spend that money. Look at City is a club that, if you're not playing so well, your replacement is just one wire transfer away. So I think there's one game that City were playing, and they have about 500 million worth of players on bench. $500 million worth of players sitting on the bench. So I think what they need is money. And if you keep players that they need to rotate at, I don't think it's more so of the defender, like Osborne said earlier. I believe like the Premier League has changed. It's a game of goal scoring, where you're scoring more than your opponent, right? And you're keeping the ball, keeping the possession. It's a game of midfield and forward. And you see what Mikel is doing. Even without a striker, Arsenal is still a good team because we have enough guys that can play the midfield role. So what they need some midfielder, guys that play in the midfield. They need that. Like you said, I don't think Foden actually fits Pep's style, because Foden has been ready to play 2-3 years ago, but for some reason he's been on the bench until KDB was injured. So Foden is not used to performing at this high level that City was playing at. So a lot of it is Pep's fault, because it's not giving Foden that many chances. Even in a game that very obviously that they're going to win, it's still not going to play Foden until now. And at that point, it used to be Foden and Saka, to then Foden drop down because of game time, not because, it's not a good player. So two things, they need to find a way to spend money. They're a money club. Pep is impatient. He has to buy players. When he replaced Raheem Sterling, he didn't need to replace Raheem Sterling, but he replaced him anyway. Went and bought Grealish. Grealish is not playing so well. Let's find Doku. He bought Doku, brought the guy in. So I think it's just itchy to spend money, but that money is something that's going to help them, because they're a money club. They make changes, and they make changes for now. City's not like other clubs, like, oh, we're going to plan for the next 2-3 years. Average Premier League players is like we are building. City does not build. They buy for today and now, and to win tomorrow. So yes, they need to spend more money. They need more money to get. And what Nimi said earlier, that City has been tested. They've won 5 Premier League championships in 7 years. Bro, it's all money. They bought those championships. If any other clubs can spend that much, you see what's going to happen. We saw Chelsea do the same thing. Everybody's crying foul last year, right? But City's been doing this year after year, buying players. The first record purchases, Grealish. It was City. They even need Grealish because they have Raheem Sterling. Till today, I still think Raheem Sterling is better than Grealish. And we saw it again after Chelsea and mancity play. Look at how Sterling played. Look at how Palmer played. And Pep was just tired. He just needed change, not because players are not good. So, and I think the big difference to Man City is they're a team of now. We buy players now, we win now. They don't build nothing over there. The day that Premier League starts to, they don't build anything. The day that Premier League starts to force City to not spend money, the day that Premier League forces City to not spend money because they are this financial breaching and stuff that they're going after them. If they stop spending money, Pep is gone. If Pep leaves, City is back to no fan team like they were. So what can they do differently? They have the players already, but City always want the edge. They want to be like 3-4 players better than you. Can they keep spending that money at that rate? I don't know if that continues. But what they did that might allow them is they increases their expenses. So they increased the expense to 400 million, which is a record. It's 100 and something million this past year for the treble year. So that means maybe that will buy them some room to spend money in January, but that's something that they can do right now. On the forward, Haaland is good. Midfielder, they're okay. Even if KDB comes back, his return date is end of 2023. With that type of knee injury reconstruction, I don't think he's in rehab or even practicing yet. It's December right now. It's not with the team yet. I don't see KDB joining the team till January or February. I think the league should be won already by whoever's going to win it. At least we'd have the top two by that time. So I don't know how much impact he's going to have. So I'll save KDB with age 32 years old. Maybe we'll turn 33 next year. I'll save him until next season and see if he can play 1 or 2 more years. Or maybe he retire or leave when Pep leaves. Now, if you look at it, KDB and Pep are already clashing. They don't get along anymore. He's always hustle and tussle. Yes, they don't like each other. They curse each other out on the pitch and fight.
They never did. Never did.
Can I say something?
They did. No, yeah, go ahead.
I am withdrawing my support that I had for funsho with analysis and everything. I'm withdrawing it.
Nimi, the way you supporting and withdrawing support these days.
I'm withdrawing it. The reason I'm withdrawing it is he made a statement that could get you crucified if we were in the Stone Ages. You know, he talked about the fact that they've spent so much money and how much in the past 2 seasons. Who has spent more than Arsenal? Who spent more money last season? No. After that, who spent more money in the EPL last season on their score? It was Arsenal.
We had 1 season in the scoring.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to blame.
That's the thing.
Look at Chelsea. We spent 1 billion, right? And we are still with a Kabu striker. It's all about how you spend your money and how you go about it. So don't fault Guardiola and say, "Hey, that to me is all this money and they bought the title." Well, when Arsene Wenger was winning all those titles, buying the best players in the world, that was the 2-horse race. What I'm saying, Osborne, am I wrong?
I don't even think it's about spending money. I don't think it's about spending money.
Yeah, Chioma, what do you think? We need to move on.
Seriously,
to
I'm not even up for this whole spending money. When have big ballers on the bench, Manchester City, you see, do you understand? They've had the likes of Silva and Aguero sit on the bench for some seasons and all of that. And no, they know how to build. If a club like that raised someone like Palmer and Chelsea's blossoming already, okay? And Rico, where did Rico come from? And that Phillips guy, where did he come from? I think
if they were building, 1 second, if they were building,
Chioma, if you say they build, if they have a player like Palmer, how did they let him go? He should have been.
No, because see, that's the thing. They let him go because they have more from where he came from. That's what I'm trying to say.
They don't need him.
How many games did Palmer play for City? He didn't play up to 10 games for City.
I know.
So that's what Funsho is saying. If Palmer would have been a Man United player or Arsenal player or Chelsea or Liverpool, they won't sell him. He'll be one of their key players this season because of what he did last season. But they let him go because they could buy Doku. Don't forget that Palmer was playing from the wings for City. So why didn't they just stay patient with Palmer and not buy Doku? But they wouldn't have got Doku, who is ready for now. That's what Funsho is trying to say. Who is ready to play now? Palmer in Chelsea today is doing well because there's not so much pressure or expectation on the young man. So he's doing his thing. He's relaxed.
Really?
Yeah, there's not much pressure on him because everybody knows Chelsea is trying to gel. So he has. Can you imagine Palmer being the penalty taker for City? It's not possible. He can't. He won't even step up there if there is a penalty for City.
Because there are people.
Exactly. That's what Funsho is saying. That they have the money.
I hear the spending. But then there is another part to it.
Okay. I'll give you an instance. When Pep went and got Calvin Phillips, I know Arsenal needed a midfielder badly that time, and Arsenal fans we are clamoring for that guy to be bought. City went to buy Calvin Phillips. He's been on the bench for 3 seasons. I'm not sure that guy has played 30 games for City. And on top of him, they still went and got Kovacic this season. He does the same thing that Phillips is supposed to be doing. So, and Calvin Phillips, for me, I don't think he's a bad player. Maybe he's not up there yet, but he's not getting chances because City doesn't have time to allow you to bed in. If you can't do it, they get somebody else. That's Funsho's argument. I'm not saying 100% City's issue is money. They have to go and buy more players. But it's something that you cannot ignore. This is what Pep does. Like he said, he had Raheem Sterling going to get Grealish. At that time, don't forget at that time, Riyad Mahrez was still good and he was still in City. And they want to buy Grealish on him. So it's not because just for money, but they know you can say they buy right, but still they still spend that money. Nimi, I get you, Arsenal has spent a lot of money the last 1 season, but City have been doing this for so many years. They've been spending money. So
it don't matter.
Like Chelsea now, if Chelsea had gone out last season to just sign 3 or 4 players, I bet you Chelsea will be staring education in the eye now. The reason why Chelsea is looking like they're going to come up is because they spend a lot of money. They've made mistakes in some of the signings, and some are all gelling. Then I'm sure Poch did not come cheap as well. So somehow money is needed. It's not just about tactics.
No, Reggie, I think it's not a good argument. It's not a good argument. Why? Yeah, money is needed in soccer. Yes, you need to spend money, but you got to spend it wisely. You don't blame. Look at Manchester United. Net in the past 10 years, they've spent, I think, the second or the first highest. What have they won in 10 years? What
we're saying is, of course, nobody is going to argue that Pep is not the best right now in the business. But the issue is that if he didn't have the money that City has to spend, I'm not sure he would dominate the EPL the way he has dominated. Look at
come on now.
Look at Klopp. Look at Klopp. Klopp is as good, but because Liverpool doesn't spend as much as City, he can't sustain that charge. He can't reoil the team like you usually say. So I think it's a factor. It's not just about Pep's expertise. Okay, like now, are you telling me that if Chelsea had a Foden at the level that he's performing, that he won't be a week in, week out feature in Chelsea play team? He will. But he's there. Pep is still signing players in his position because he has the money to spend.
Yeah, he will. But again, you have to have a coach and you have to have investing in the right players that fits the philosophy of who the manager is. But let's I think it's time for us to move on. But I would have expected,
let's move
I would need Funsho to apologize for saying that they bought those trophies.
In the same vein, I will expect Nimi to apologize for saying that Arsene Wenger bought a trophy. That is the heresy. That is heresy.
Who did Wenger sign?
That is heresy. For goodness sake, Nimi, are you trying to redefine the
No,
history?
no,
No, we are
What
not.
are you talking about?
It's a
Also,
Chelsea.
we're having a very good discourse. The facts, you cannot change facts. The facts
Yeah.
are when Wenger and Alex Ferguson were winning those titles, the facts
Yes.
are, if you want me to produce it, you will produce the two highest spending teams in the EPL were Manchester United and Arsenal.
Please
So if
produce evidence.
I,
What you're talking is rubbish.
I will personally send it to you. So if Funsho can sit
Please,
here,
produce
and you
evidence
guys,
with names. Don't send me anything. Next show, bring
the next
the
podcast,
names of the
the
people and
next
how
It's
much
all
podcast,
your
that was
fault,
the
spent on
next
them.
Victor. It's all your fault.
podcast that we have, the next podcast that we have, I will share my screen with you and I will show you. So
Okay.
if Funsho
All right.
can sit here with all confidence, say Manchester City is buying titles, I would expect you, Osborne, as a man of dignity, as a man of
No. Actually, the people that bought titles
Correct
are really
captain.
Chelsea. Chelsea actually started buying.
Nimi using
Start
attack.
buying titles.
Nimi using
You want
attack
us
to
to go this route?
using attack to defend.
Yeah, let's go that route.
Let's go
Bring
to
evidence,
I
please.
expect you to condemn Funsho, Osborne. You have not condemned
Bring
me.
evidence.
No.
Is what you're saying.
Let's move to Arsenal, but let me just start with reminding you that Pep went to Borussia Dortmund after the season that they won Champions League and won the league, and he signed 7 players after he joined the team. So
You mean Bayern Munich? He went to Bayern Munich.
yeah, when he went to Bayern Munich, before he joined, they won the Champions League the season before and the league. He still signed 7 players. So that tells you the mentality of the coach.
So what about when he won with Barcelona? What about when he won in Barcelona?
If remember, he said if you have Messi, you can win anything. So let's move
Osborne, are you listening to what it is?
Yeah, Pep said it by himself. It's not me. Pep said it with Messi in your team, you can win anything. Argentina was not a favorite.
I'm not going to get involved in anything. But once you mention Arsene Wenger, I tell you Arsene Wenger bought trophies. So that's where I'm ready to fight anything.
Let's move to Arsenal. Arsenal in numbers, out of a possible 36 points this season, they have garnered 27. 12 games into the season so far. Arsenal has won 8, drawn 3, and lost just 1. The game they lost to Newcastle, the so much talked game, a VAR issue in Newcastle against Newcastle, and they average the same number. They said that they have the same average possession numbers with City, 62.3 3% possession in their games. They've scored 26 goals. They are 5th on the table on that one. First half goals 9, and they are first in second half games. Arsenal seem to be coming to life second half of the game. Their first 18 goals this season scored in the second half. Arsenal has a very low shot numbers, 148 so far for the season. They're 8th in that category, and they are first in corners. Arsenal has had more corners than any other team in the EPL. Have 106 corners played against teams, which means they are putting pressure on teams, and they are the best. They have the best defensive record, 10 goals this season so far, conceding 4 in the first half and 6 in second half. So the highest goal scorer so far in the league is Edin Nketiah, 5 goals, followed by Bukayo Saka, 4 goals, Odegaard 3, and Trossard 3. And on the assist table, Saka has the highest assist, 4 assists, followed by Martinelli 2 and Fabio Vieira 2. Disciplinary, so they have. I think Arsenal has one of the, if not the best, but they have maybe somebody is the same number with them. Total of 19 cards so far this season, 2 red cards and 17 yellow cards, which is unprecedented because I see a lot of teams with over 27, 26. 25 cards this season. And we remember that 2 seasons ago or last season, people were talking about Arsenal players and discipline. I think Arteta has done well in this area. So that's Arsenal in the nutshell. In the Champions League, 4 games in, they've won 3 and lost 1. They're leading the table with 9 points. The next person to them in the group is, I think, 5 points, Lens or PSG, I can't remember now. So that's in a nutshell, Arsenal so far this season. So, Funsho, let me start with you. You mentioned something when we were talking about City. Arsenal seem to have lost something in terms of the attacking fluidity this season. They lost Xhaka is unfortunately we are using Xhaka as probably a key factor. Talking about Gustav in Arsenal. This is a player that Arsenal fans didn't want to see wear that color anymore 2 seasons ago. They have scored less goals. Arsenal is 5th on goals scored this season. Last season they were blowing teams away. And so what have you made about the losing the fluidity going forward for Arsenal this season? What do you think this is the reason for that?
I think I've been following Arsenal for a while now, and I think these people would like to solve our problem with the wrong solution. I mentioned this a few times ago. Our striker issue should have been corrected last year into this season, not now that we're desperate. So yes, we play very fluid, we play beautiful football. Now you can imagine how good we could have been and how well we would have run away with the league. The only reason why that Tottenham game was close because we didn't score. We had decent chances. Just because we didn't put the game away. There's another game that Chelsea game. The only reason why is because we pass, no goal. Eventually they scored. Now we are chasing goals. So we need to solve a problem that's very critical. Like you said, we are 5th in goal scoring. A team that's not winning, you have to be able to score. There are many ways to finish the game in Premier League. You score fast, you score a lot, and you bury the other team. You give them until the last second. Anything can happen. And City like to close the game. By the second half, you are done. You are tired. You won't see the ball. And the last game the last Champions League game we played, I think against Sevilla, right? We controlled the ball so much. I think they only had one shot on goal. Barely no shot on goal on the first half until the end of the game. But still, that game could have been a 6-7, 8-0. That level of winning puts fear in your next opponent. And I think we're making things very difficult for ourselves. So yes, you can imagine Arsenal with a very good striker right now. A very good striker right now. Right? And we're champions because like Chioma said, the team that I would tip to win right now is Real Madrid. Right? It's not Barcelona. I don't know if City can repeat that. I'm tipping Real Madrid to win it. If provided Arsenal have a striker, provided that injury is not a problem, I could see us up there because we have the advantage of winning the league, of topping the group and have a good momentum into the finals if we make it. So when it comes to Arsenal, our problem here is now Kai is not a guy. He hasn't worked out. I don't know what position he's hired for, but we need a striker. Gabriel Jesus, I like him very much. Disney injury is reoccurring. It doesn't look like it's gonna get better, right? So that left forward is Eddie. Eddie that we are left at 60 minutes. Eddie is finished. If Eddie starts a game at 60 minutes, the guy is finished. Yeah, he won it's called 3 goals against Sheffield United. Fine, congratulations. Then the next game, nothing happened. The next game that it was played, after I come back from injury. So we're doing well. Like you said, we have a lot of passes. Passing accuracy is still high, 88%. So we are keeping the ball. The crosses accuracy, we need to start scoring ball on crosses. Well, that chances created is 16, and we average 2.17 goals per match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that number looks big, but it's not big because a lot of other teams average that many goals per match. You can, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if they average that much and we average that much, in January, we have that striker, not the striker that we build with, though. The city where the guy comes and and nobody's building again. Give us a guy that can work on the team today and start scoring today. And I think that's what Arsenal need to do. Defensively, fine. Midfielder, we are surviving. We Jorginho, we are surviving, man. So I tip it up to these guys. And while we are surviving, if we don't correct this striker problem, then we're gonna deal with a very difficult situation. But for now, as an Arsenal fan, I still tip Arsenal to win the Premier League if we solve our striker problem.
Yeah, Osborne, let me stop with you right quick before I go to Chioma. Chioma, sorry, give me a second. So like I said, Arsenal is first on the table with City in possession, average possession this season. They have 62.3 average possession per game, which is the same number that City has. Put that side by side with fluidity. We have lost something going forward in terms of fluidity, but looks like they're controlling games better. Which of these do you think they should continue in this part? Do you think controlling games is going to impact more in Arsenal winning more games or probably winning the league? Or should they increase the fluidity and be more ferocious going forward and probably lose something in terms of controlling games a little better?
Long may this new Arsenal continue. I love it. I love it.
I knew this.
I was listening to a podcast, Chioma, yesterday that mentioned that currently, so far this season, in 12 games, Arsenal has the lowest XG against. Lowest XG against in the league. Meaning that the opponents of Arsenal, do not get to have opportunities to score
goals
as much as they do against other teams. So that enhances, clarifies the same point that Red is making about control. And it's funny to me that it's the same percentage we have of possession that City also has. I think that tells you something. What that tells me is that we are not as bad as we are being termed to be, right? That talk of fluidity, talk of scoring a lot of goals. Yes, we haven't scored as many goals, but last season, I hear Arsenal scored about 88 goals or 86 goals. No, City. I think City won the league with about 88 or 86 goals. Arsenal scored 70-something goals, close enough to City. But in terms of conceding, Arsenal, I believe, conceded over 20 goals more than City last season. So they're already changing that narrative. There are some certain key now I understand why Arteta invested in defenders more this offseason than strikers when we supposedly, we're still depending on only Jesus and Nketiah. How did he now, go about buying defenders more than he bought forwards? So I know that this issue of striking and scoring goals has always been there. It's still there, and we need to sort it out. But I believe that Arsenal don't necessarily have to buy a potent, high-scoring forward to be able to win the league. I think that what we need to do is to create more opportunities for Martinelli. Yesterday, Martinelli played as a top 9 as a striker for Brazil and scored a goal. So we have some incredible young wingers that can play in the middle if we build our team in such a way that we use their skills and maybe get kaihavertz to click. Now, if Xhaka were still with Arsenal this season, I'm confident that we will hustle for that league, provided there are no injuries, till the last game of the season against City, right? Because Xhaka added into his toolbox and added the final third to his toolbox.
Yeah.
Now, that's where Havertz is lacking presently. I think a lot of it has to do with him adapting to the team, and also him being confident enough to take shots, no matter what's going on, right? So if with time, I believe Havertz comes good, that's another very, very strong, potential for us to add goals. It may not be, again, everybody doesn't have to be prolific. We don't have to have someone scoring 15, 20, 25 goals. If all our forwards chip in 10, 12 here and there, we'll have enough goals to win the league. Yeah, Nimi, I see you shaking your head. That head, as you shake it,
Husband,
may God with you.
husband, one question.
As you shake
How
that
many
head.
goals has
So yeah.
You
how many
said
goals has
And
Martin?
when are coming?
husband, you said
So again, there's a caveat to what I'm saying. And my caveat is it's a big if, and I know that if hasn't quite materialized yet. I'm hoping it will materialize at some point as we go forward. That's probably wishful thinking. But I'm saying it's just possible that we need to click more, maybe find a more offensive midfielder or something that can help unlock our, especially on a Haaland to win the league.
I have one question, husband. How many goals is Martin?
As it do I remember maybe 3 or so? I don't know.
Just one.
Yeah,
Just one. Just one.
Just one.
Yeah, one goal. One.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I'm asking that is
yes,
the fluid is
I've
there.
heard.
Fluid is there, but guys, we have to see net.
Yeah, the issue is that why is it that when it comes to Arsenal,
Good point.
The narrative changes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember people say you need a good defense. Defense wins you title, while attackers win you games. Now we look at the numbers. Arsenal is doing very well defensively. They had the best defensive record in the league. They have the highest percentage of possession controlling of games in the league with City. And they are third on the table, 1 point behind City alongside Liverpool. And still, just because they are not as ferocious as we are last season, it looks like there's a drop-off. So I think I'm with Osborne on this one. The important aspects of the game of winning titles and winning games, Arsenal is up there. They're controlling games better. They are giving chance. I remember before that I joined Arsenal, we are having average of 26 shots on our goal per game. 26, 19, 20. These numbers have really shrunk. They have gone down, which means, and we looked at City a few minutes ago, City are allowing more shots, allowing more play teams come at them. And we still rate them to be able to win the league against a team that is not giving opponents. I mean, Chelsea scored 4 against City, and City had maybe 2 or 3 shots on target against Arsenal 3 weeks ago. So I'm just bringing up this issue as we talk. Let's not be blindfolded with just hearing City or hearing Liverpool, because Arteta is not a big name already. But in terms of important aspects of the game and winning games and winning titles, I don't think Arsenal is doing badly. So, Chioma, I don't know if you have anything to add before Nimi will come in on this one.
I was going to say that we should just allow Nimi to get off what he has on his chest. He's boiling. He's boiling. I can feel it.
Chioma,
Peace
be unto you. Reggie Osborne today, I don't know what has happened, but the comments you guys are making are just blowing my head, blowing me scatter. You know, first of all, you made a comment that, Manchester City and Arsenal is conceding less now, and now we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that City have history of winning. Even when you go to court, they say precedents. They have that in their DNA. When I talk about titles, they won 5 titles in 7 years. That counts for something. They have experience. They don't have that. I heard Osborne talk about, if Kaihavertz can add goals to his games. What in his history has he shown in the EPL to show you that he's consistent with goals? He doesn't have that.
You know why? When I hear this experience in winning, I hear this all the time. It does my head, because there's always a first time. Now, Real Madrid won, I think, 5 3 or 5 Champions League titles, right? City has never won it before, but they won last season. So if you're going by that argument, hold on. If we're going by that argument, City has no right to have won the Champions League last season because Ancelotti and the same group of players a season before blew teams away and won the title and won the Champions League. But last season, City won. So this argument of because so what I'm saying, this argument of a team because a team wins, that's why they will continue winning.
Please,
I don't really get it.
Let me land, please, Reggie.
Okay.
You have to understand that City has that. They have a coach that has done that before, that has walked that walk, matched that match, and has won that Champions League before.
Okay.
He knows how to win it.
Like I said again, Pep has only won Champions League in his cabinet before last season. He won it in Barcelona like 10 years ago. So what I'm saying is I'm not arguing that City will not win the league. I'm telling you the argument of because they have been winning, that's why they win. Arsenal will not win. There's always a first time. There's always a first time for somebody.
Reggie, please hear me. Let me land, please. Okay. Because right now your chest is boiling. Calm down.
No. I'm trying to bring your thoughts.
I see with your red Arsenal jacket, the cannon facing me. Calm down. Let me finish. What I'm trying to say is this: Pep has a history of winning.
Mm-hmm.
He has won the league. He has won several league titles as a coach. He has won the Spanish Liga. He's won the German league. He's won the English league. Arteta does not have that. What I'm trying to say is, Osborne has made statements, very treasonable statements. Hey, Kaihavertz can bring goals. I'm liking funsho. Funsho is hitting at the wall. How many goals has Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and
Kaihavertz cannot bring goals yet. He scored a goal that won the Champions League for you guys.
No.
You like to reverse things to suit your narrative.
No, Osborne, please. You say if he can add goals, his history has shown he doesn't have that. I have been consistent on one thing on this channel, and one thing I've been consistent about Arsenal is.
Mimi, I know you're a Chelsea fan, but we are Arsenal fans. There's a popular chant that they say 1 goal, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal has the history of using 1 goal per game to win league.
Let me finish now, Reggie. Please, let me finish. What I'm trying to say, I know you guys are 4 against 1 here. There's no way I'll win. But what I'm trying to say is...
You now 4 people.
What I'm trying to say is, there's no doubt Arteta, I'm a man that will come in here and say the truth. Arteta has revolutionized Arsenal. He has come in with his philosophy. He learned a lot from Pep. He's changing things. Osborne made a good point. They are shoring in the defense because he knows when he shores in the defense, it will be better. They are cutting down on mistakes being made in that defense line. He has learned that. But I've always been consistent. I'm saying historically, I always go by past precedents. For you to win the league, you must have a striker or a player that will contribute at least 20, 25 goals every season for you. Historically, that precedence is there. When I look at Arsenal, it be like the more you look, the less you see. I'm not seeing that. Charlie, Ghanaians will say, Charlie, I'm not seeing that. Nketiah is not consistent. Gabriel Jesus is buy 1, get 10 free. Play 2, get 10 injuries out. There's no. Where are the goals going to come from? We just called your 3 attacking options. Nketiah, Martinelli, and Saka has less than 10 goals come.
Okay. Let me ask you one question. No, on that, let's stay on that. Yesterday, Eden Hazard got injured and left. He came in as a substitute for Norway and also left with an injury. Let's assume that Eden Hazard comes back to City and is out for 6 months. If you look at City's numbers, the next player in terms of scoring goals after the Haaland, I think, is on 5 goals. That means without him, they probably lack that player that will give you 25 goals, as you are saying. No, hold on, let me finish. So are you telling me now that if the Haaland is out of the season for City, City won't win the league?
No, I'm telling you, City will still win the league, and this is why.
Exactly, that's the problem.
That's why. Let me tell you. You asked me the question.
Yeah,
let me explain.
Yeah,
I will go back to what do you call him? Pep.
Yeah,
can tweak that
no,
team.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. No, let me finish. Let's move.
Let me round up. Okay. I know I've been talking. Alvarez, I'll give you 2 points. Alvarez can step up today, the moment Haaland leaves, and they will build that team with Alvarez. Alvarez can score goals. He has shown it last
okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, there's something Osborne mentioned a few minutes ago. City won the league with 88 points, 88 goals scored. Arsenal came second without an Erling Haaland, who scored 36 goals. And Arsenal was maybe 10 goals or less behind City in terms of goals scored. We're talking about scoring goals. We're not talking about who scored them. We're talking about scoring goals. Those goals were shared among. Arsenal had 4 players on 15 goals or more last season. Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and 3 of them, 3 players. So the 3 of them contributed at least 45 of those goals. So what I'm trying to say in essence is you might not have that player that will score 25 goals per season for you. We can also factor a way to win games without that player. Now, if Arsenal wins 10 games, 1-0, without conceding, they have 30 points from those 10 goals.
Reggie.
So my point is, you're going by history. History also has it that the teams that concede less goals are more likely to win the title than. And we saw this with Arsene Wenger. When he started dropping off, that he was conceding more goals and scoring goals as well, and he never won a title with that.
Reggie, to counter your point, what I'm trying to tell you is Pep is not Pep. 2021-2022 season, Manchester City without Haaland scored 93 goals. In the top 5 highest goal scorers that season list, Son had 23, Mohamed Salah had 23, Cristiano Ronaldo had 18, Harry Kane had 17, Sadio Mane had 16. Manchester City players, none of them came in the top 7 of the highest goal scorers.
Exactly. That's what this is against your point. This is against your point.
My point I'm trying to tell you is the moment Harry Kane leaves, Pep has a history. He will make it work. Arteta does not, Arsenal does not have that. They don't have the players that can do that.
Okay, so again, against your argument, last season they did it. Arsenal had the player that could do what you're saying. The only problem was they conceded more. So this season they're conceding less. And if those players can produce the same numbers, they're in a better shape. They will win more games.
Reggie, your statistics is wrong. Arsenal were conceding less until Saliba got injured. And they started conceding goals. That's when they lost track of the league. Go and look at the games. So right now, I'm telling you, Saliba don't be so satisfied or happy. Injuries can happen.
No. Last season, Saliba was the defining factor. But this season, we are playing differently. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're only looking at history about considering they were playing differently. That's why Arsenal is controlling games better. Last season, when Arsenal turned possession, I was going to get to that. I was watching our game against City, and 1 or 2 other games. That was something I was always watching. I remember before that I came in, we used to have some argument about Arsenal. I need to tell you that Arsenal players lacked positional discipline, and that is why we always concede at any turnover. If you watch Arsenal now, when we have a turnover, we have players positioned in areas where it's difficult for opponents to use those turnovers against us. So it's not just Saliba. Saliba, yes, is a very good defender. He's doing his bit. When we have him, it's different. But still, without him, the way the team plays, players like Tomiyasu have developed different positional discipline. Even our attacking players, people like Saka, are doing more defensively this season than they did last season. So these are also factors. So let's not just look at just the scoring numbers. There are things that the team, like Ugum said, long may it continue. Arsenal has given up something in terms of going forward, but controlling games and being more difficult to beat, they have improved on that this season.
Reggie, arrest my case.
So Chioma, let me ask you a question on the Champions League. What's your expectation about Arsenal in the UCL this season? Do you think they can go as far as what stage? Because it looks like they're going to qualify from the group, and they qualify as the first in the group. It gives them a chance to probably have a weaker opposition the next stage, and which means they probably might have a free hit to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I remember those times that we used to get Barcelona in Champions League draws. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be very horrifying. And you know how Champions League work is like, if you're in that right group, you already know how far you're going to go. Yeah, so it's Champions League is very, for lack of a better word, straight.
It's tricky.
Very straight. Yeah, tricky, but it's straight, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at groups, you have Newcastle in the group of death, they almost made it, and then the likes of Arsenal and then Manchester United and all of that. So for me, I see us coming out of that group. I see us getting very close in the race. I'm just trying to spare Nini another bout of argument and stress. I don't want you to stress yourself, Nini. Before I say something now, you say I should apologize for. So I see us really getting very close to this Champions League, and we can win it. We can.
Okay.
We can.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, Osborne, let me. I know this is another area that you've been a referee yourself, and I know it's an area you have interest in. What have you made about Arteta and his rant about VAR? And of course, yesterday the FA came out with their charge against him, giving him till next week Tuesday to respond to the charge of inappropriate comments and bringing the game to disrepute. I've seen people say they back Arteta on this one, and they expect him to go all the way, even if it means getting a touchline ban. That somebody needs to, stand up to the FA with this whole VAR nonsense that's been going on in the league and inconsistencies. What's your take in with Arteta and VAR, the way it has been used this season?
Yeah, I don't want to continue to flog this dead horse because I believe, we've spoken so many times about it. As a referee, I'm always more inclined to be on the side of referees and condemn anything being said against referees, because it's a thankless job, it's an impossible job, but it's a job that must be done. And at the end of the day, the referee can never win because somebody is upset, whether they win or lose. That's been my experience at the grassroots level. But I think that what's happening at the EPL level is a bit of a disservice to those of us that work at the grassroots level, considering what we go through, considering the level of insults we go through, considering the risks that we take, even physically, when many grassroots coaches referees are attacked and even hurt or injured because of decisions that they make. There's no hiding place in those situations. It's your ability as a grassroots referee to manage situations that will help you. I've had many instances where I've had to apologize to a striker, apologize to a player because I didn't see a foul and they complain and all that. And I say, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Or maybe apologize to a coach, because if you're a human being and you're running a game, nobody is perfect. There's a point that you will make mistakes. What really puzzles me and bothers me really is the level to which these guys go to defend clear inefficiencies, clear mistakes. Why don't you say, hey, I'm not vulnerable. I just didn't do it right. Next time I'll correct it. I'll get better at it. you know. And I think fans and the opposition coaches or whatever will say, oh, okay, maybe this has happened to us once, twice, 3 times before. Please let it not happen again. Or if it happens again, this is what we want. But the way that the English FA and those in charge are treating this, you know, I see some of the things that we see in Africa, where people in public office can never be held can never be held accountable, right? They do what they want to do, and you either take it or you leave it. If you open your mouth and say something, you go down for it. You know, that's what I'm seeing in a supposedly civilized society like England, where a coach cannot express. He didn't insult anyone. He just said, man, this is unacceptable. The way these things are being done is not good. It's not great. It's not, yeah. And you say he's bringing the game into disrepute, you ban him or you fine him. And then what happens continues to happen because nobody's being held accountable. Nobody's being asked to make the right changes. Nobody's being asked the right questions. So it's all a farce. It's just disgusting as far as I'm concerned. And it may be Arsenal today. Of course, it's been a few other clubs. It was Liverpool the other day. It could be Chelsea tomorrow. It may have been Chelsea in the past. It could be United at some point. But you know, it's going to go round. But it's really, really bad. And they need to address that. Now, this season, I'm starting to see one or two new faces as referees, which is a welcome development. There are no black coaches in England. We've been watching this game from Africa for close to 20 years as fans, following our different clubs. And you do not see a black referee. That is unacceptable. It's not, there's no way anybody can justify that, right? So these are the things you see, so that they've refused to address these things. We're forced to address it at some point.
So what do you expect Arteta to do? Do you expect him to back down? Do you support him to back down? Or you support him to go all the way and get whatever punishment that he gets and continue to make his point?
Oh, no, I support him 100%. He shouldn't back down. But I don't think he said anything wrong. He just said what you guys did, what happened was not the right call. You didn't make the right call. So he will take the punishment. Honestly, if Arsenal as a club decides to sue the FA, I'll back it up 100%.
Yeah,
if they decide to do that.
And to show the inconsistencies, Arsenal as a club has not been charged because they backed Arteta 100%, and they said that with him was this. So
let me tell you what happened. I hear that they've called a meeting of all the clubs, right? And they said that they've decided to use Arsenal as an example. That moving forward, any club that backs a coach in the manner that Arsenal just did for Arteta, that they will come down hard on the club. That's what I hear, a meeting that they've scheduled. So, I mean, this, looking at it from all angles, man.
So let me touch base with you. De Zerbi came out this week or last weekend and said that he hates 80% of the EPL referees, that he doesn't like them. I don't know. Do you expect FA to as well charge him? And if they don't, what does that tell you?
I expect him to be charged, and I think he's going to be charged because that's a very strong word. And Brighton is not a big club, right? They can easily slap those guys as many times as they want. So I expect him to be charged. They're probably busy with Everton, Chelsea, and stuff, but they'll get him. And I think we're beginning to see these things. Even the same Chelsea coach that says it was brought up to respect referees or some nonsense. Yeah,
he blew up the other day. He almost slapped Anthony Taylor against City.
Against City, yes. He didn't want to even talk to the referee. So, when it said, when it rains, it pours, everybody get it. VAR is given to everybody this season. Anyone can get it from VAR. I think those guys just wake up in the morning like, what can we mess up? How can we make the news today? And but yes, he's going to be charged as Brighton. I mean, nobody cares about those guys. They're going to be charged. They're going to make a statement out of him. The only thing is, the guy did not link it to one specific performance. He just grouped all the referees together. Mm-hmm. So that might be tricky on, are you criticizing the call? Are you criticizing the calls? Or, so that can be, it defines what type of fine they can give him, if any, because he has to qualify. He has to go against certain thing that condemns the integrity, direct integrity of the referee association nonsense, whatever they have going on. I think that's what's going to be. Yes, they're going to be charged. And I think we're going to see more because more and more people are speaking up. So it used to be Klopp. Klopp used to, anything happen. Klopp is the grass today, is the referee tomorrow, the wind is blowing south. Now is everybody, if you can get enough numbers, and we're getting that number right now, right? We're getting that number. If you can get the numbers, if you have 10 or 12 coaches in the league saying the same thing, how many people can you find? Eventually, they have to really bend over back. They have to really hear people out and make changes. The problem is, what can they do differently than what they've been doing already? Because I think all the rules that they could have done is there. It's just not being followed.
Yeah, it's very surprising that the same VAR is used in Europe, in Champions League.
Yeah.
And we watch games every week. Yeah, once in a while there's a little mistake, something that you don't really agree with. But there's less, there's less issues. And most of the time, one thing I've picked out is in Europe, they are easy to tell the referee to go to the screen.
To the screen.
So that he makes his decision. I don't know why in EPL, VAR tend to make decisions for referees. Okay, you have checked it. You think there's an issue there. Go there as a referee. Go and check what the decision that you make.
And also in Europe, they don't take that much time to still make a wrong decision. Premierleague, they can take 5 minutes. The longer they take, actually, the more they're going to
exactly. So I don't know, is it incompetence or there's just they just decide to just mess things up? As fans who watch games, we see an incident right there as they're watching the game. You're remembering that this incident happened last week. So how come referees like the Bruno Guimaraes on what's his name, Jorginho incident? Players have been penalized because of that kind of attitude. Why was it difficult for VAR to
Not only that, the same call that stood a goal for Bruno.
Newcastle.
Saka had the same, not even as bad as Bruno. They called that a foul.
No,
so where's the consistency?
The one that even got me tired in that same game, they said there was no much pressure on Gabriel. If you remember, after Arsenal considered that goal, on Liverpool, on Newcastle's defensive side, close to the corner flag, Martinelli barely touched your guy Chioma, the guy, the right back that came in. What do you call him? That was used to play for Chelsea, the young player.
Which one is that?
The one that you're raving about.
That played for Newcastle.
Yes.
Is it Mikalenko? No, not Mikalenko.
Yeah,
What's his name? Scar something? Scar Smenko?
He has one funny name that came in for Dambon.
Yeah, from Chelsea.
Yeah, so Martinelli barely touched
Livramento,
yes. Livramento. Martinelli barely touched him on his back. There was no risk on Newcastle's goal. There was nothing. The referee just gave a foul. And I'm sitting down there thinking, is this exactly the same thing that happened, even had more grievous impact on the game than this one? You're calling this one right there and then. And the one that implied the game and turned into a goal, you did not give a foul. So it's really...
I have a question, guys. They said that it's like you're going to work. Let's say you're a doctor, you go to work, but you leave your stethoscope at home. How do you examine the patient? Because that day they said they did not draw the line, or the technology to draw the line was not available for them to get the ball. That number two, there's a lot of wrong calls before the first half, right? Do they now go back? What did we get wrong with the first half? Or let's have sense for second half. It's even worse at the second half.
Yeah.
So why do they keep doing these things? That's my question.
All kinds of excuses. I don't believe those things. I believe there is something that we are not that we need to know that goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what it is, but there is something, because these excuses are beginning to. The other day they forgot to draw the line. Now they didn't come with what draws the line. I've worked in IT. and these things come with a package. There's no, you can't separate the technology that draws the line from the actual thing. The VAR comes with a package. It's a package. So I don't believe that story. They should just spare us.
Already, tell me how you look at a video, you see somebody's hand on somebody's back, and you say you're not sure whether there's whether there's any force. You say you're not sure whether the person was pushed or not. Yes, the hand is right on the back. You say you're not sure whether the person was pushed hard or pushed soft.
Exactly.
And there's no conclusive evidence.
Remember, I asked you the last podcast on this game. I asked you that as a referee, in that situation, even if you're not sure, who do you give benefit of doubt to? Is it the defending team or the attacking team? Because sometimes when you're not sure, you have to consider who is being impacted more in this situation.
Yeah. You see a defender trying to defend his goal. He had an opportunity to head the ball. You're insinuating that the defender would rather dive rather than
not the ball.
Sometimes you just wonder whether the person is, there's something like just adding to what you're saying. There's just something going on there that I don't understand what these guys are thinking, or whether they have certain preconceived, notions, or whether they've made their minds up about something before it actually happens. I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Nimi, are you still there with us? Okay, I think we need to round up. Osborne,
I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's your expectation for Arsenal this season? They are in the Champions League, in the league, and the FA Cup. We're rounding up now on this on the Arsenal section.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will. Again, they're doing good compared to where they were. They're a team growing. I think in the league, Arsenal will finish third position in the league. As regards the Champions League, I predict a round of 16 quarterfinals bout for them, and they're out of the League Cup, the FA Cup. The FA Cup, Arsenal traditionally makes good runs. As regards this season, I don't think Arsenal will win any. I don't think they'll win any trophy, but I think they will. This season will fall short than last season in terms of the league. I think this season the league is going to be a two-horse race between Liverpool and Manchester City in the long run.
Mimi,
okay. I hear you, Chioma.
Considering my heart, whenever you're saying things like this, because considering my heart is beating.
Chioma, I will always shoot straight and tell you how it is. I don't bite my lips, and I think this is how it will finish. But we'll see, though. I am happy that all the things I've been saying, slowly and surely. At first, when I say it, people will be like, "Oh no," but it's slowly and surely now. We all agree Arsenal they will need a striker. But when I said it first, like 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, Osborne was coming for my neck. And
I shouldn't say that. It's always been known that Arsenal needs a striker. Nobody has argued that, but doesn't mean that they cannot win in the situation they find themselves. I remember when the Drogba was in Chelsea, I still remind Chelsea fans that the Drogba only won highest goal scorer of the season once, but Chelsea fans rave about him like he scores 30 goals every season. It's just that he scores important goals for the team. So sometimes you don't have to be very, very, very prolific. If you have a prolific striker, of course, it helps, but I don't think Arsenal winning the league or not is going to hinge. If Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard can reproduce the number that they did last season, Arsenal stands a chance, even with Odegaard, even with Jesus and Nketiah. But having a proven striker like Avantoni will give added advantage. And I believe as well, the defensive performance Arsenal is putting in now is going to have a big say if it continues, whether they win the league or not, or we go far in the Champions League. Because if you don't concede goals, you don't lose games. And if you don't lose games, you're adding points on the table. So that's one thing that my own conclusion. I'm not going to, I can't sit down here and tell you that Arsenal is going to win the league. I believe they can win it if they continue to stay disciplined the way they have been so far in the season. City is still City's league to lose. Winning, if I have to put my neck, I would say City will win the league. But does Arsenal have what it takes to win the league? I think they can win the league. I don't place Liverpool ahead of Arsenal this season. The reason is because the Arsenal's team is more balanced than Liverpool. We did Liverpool the other day, and attacking numbers, Liverpool is over-reliant on Mohamed Salah. He has the most goals and he has the most assists for the team, which means if anything happens to Salah today, Liverpool is going to be in trouble. And Salah, we know, is going to go to the AFCON in January. So they're going to lose him. And defensively and the central midfield position, Liverpool is not strong. McAllister has done well for them, but he's not a defensive midfielder. So when push comes to shove, I don't think he's going to withstand the pressure in that position. So that's my only reason why I don't put Liverpool ahead of Arsenal this season. I believe Arsenal is still Arsenal City to fight it out. And if City continues the way they are, and Arsenal continue the way they are playing, I see Arsenal winning the league. So that's my own conclusion about that. In Champions League, Arteta and this group of players don't have the pedigree to do, but we also know that so many years ago, Jose Mourinho, almost the same age with Arteta now, won Champions League with FC Porto. People will tell it was in those days, but there's always a first time. If they can go all the way, Champions League, like Chioma mentioned earlier on, is a very funny competition. It's a competition. It's not has nothing to do with reputation. It just draw away, come home and win. You go to the next stage. And this is, I think there are about 10 games to winning Champions League. Arsenal have played 4 already, 6 to go, 6 or 7 to go. So if you can get your ass together before you know it, you're in semi-finals, and once you get semi-finals, anything is possible from there. So I'm not going to call that one for now. I just feel that Arsenal will get as far as the quarterfinals, and after that, depending on who is left in the competition, we can now say, okay, it's going to be this or that. So, guys, thank you for coming on the show today. We have had some fun. Nimi, thank you as always to bringing spark to the show with your submissions. Chioma, thank you very much. We kept you this late. I know it's almost midnight in Nigeria now. You can get some sleep. And we come back tomorrow. Nimi, don't forget, we have a day tomorrow for Chelsea, looking at Chelsea and Manchester United. Chioma, I know you will be itching to be on that one as well. We'll see you guys.
I want Nimi to invite me.
Nimi, are you there? Are you giving us invite, or are you doing an all Chelsea show tomorrow?
I'm here.
Yeah, tomorrow. Are you doing an all Chelsea show tomorrow? Or you do want the Arsenal fans to be part of it? You are doing Chelsea and Manchester United tomorrow.
I think it should be a blue carpet affair. I think it should be a blue carpet affair. Because
really?
So you're not inviting Chioma?
I think it should be a blue carpet affair. Because I can't imagine Osborne coming there and making all these treasonable comments.
Red is new blue.
But you know that United wears red as well. So maybe Arsenal fans should help United and support them in that one. United wears red. Tomorrow is United and Chelsea Day.
Let it be a blue affair. I agree to you. At the end of the season, I'll show you something. I will be here and I will rewind all these conversations we're having now. I hope you're ready.
Amen. I'll be ready.
Okay, guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Okay, man. Take care.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Chioma, take care.
Which I hope you have some time tomorrow to join us, Chioma, as well. And we'll be doing United and Chelsea tomorrow.
Chioma,
what time?
The same time, 3 p.m.
Keep wearing blue.
Bados will be here. He has insisted that Chelsea is going to win the league and finish above Arsenal this season. So we'll see if he's still on that.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Bados or some Bados stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay,
and have
take
the
care.
rest of your day.
Take
Bye.
care.
Ciao, guys.
Thank you. Bye.